Okay, so I guess I should set the scene or whatever. So there's this band called the Velvet Sundown, and the reason it's a band is because they're not a band. It's just AI slop, and all the music is AI, and all like the promotional stuff is AI. And so naturally, people on sites like Album of the Year and Rate Your Music, we're gonna review about that because that's not music. I was like scrolling through the reviews and I found this one really funny one on Rate Your Music, and I thought it was funny, so I'm gonna read it. It's from a guy called Squibblyman. This is from July 4th. So here we go. I'm sorry, everyone. It's me. I am the one-man band behind the mysterious musical artist, the Velvet Sundown. Many of you may be wondering how I came up with the band name. Was it just AI generated? I can assure you that this is incorrect. Not a single ounce of AI was used in the production, titling, or artwork for this release. The Velvet Sundown is inspired by the band, the Velvet Underground, which may be unsurprising. I knew I needed to change a word or two, and I love sunsets, but sundown worked as a better substitute, because otherwise you have two words ending in "et." Sundown rolls off the tongue easier. Hopefully this makes sense. The artwork was done by my good friend Richard, who is a mime but does his art in his spare time on the weekends. I met him in a back alley in LA a few years back, which was always very shocking to me, because I thought all mimes lived in France or perhaps some other poor European country. He was a popular street artist before he moved on to album art design. Since he doesn't talk, I had to receive updates from him on the artwork in person because I couldn't call on the phone and mimes don't know how to write emails, apparently. He has a thing for eyes, as all mediocre artists do. There, I said it. He really is quite a lackluster artist. Don't help I said that, however. So, so he decided to put one smack right in the center of the album cover. To be honest, I'm not thrilled with how the whole thing turned out. It feels kind of lazy. Surely he could have added more detail, but it was better than nothing, and I released it, so hopefully my future artwork will be more articulate. Before I start the next few sentences, I would like to clarify that I am not, and have never been, a person who enjoys giving oral sex to men. I am actually your average white man who used to have a terrible singing voice which, according to many, sounded like a goat was bleeding from the back of my mouth. This is how I sing. The title, The Road Goat, back in college, refer to the first sentence of this paragraph. Years of teasing, ridicule, and embarrassment at numerous karaoke outings in front of beautiful women led me to seek my perfect revenge. One day, I decided to make a permanent change. I went to a special surgeon and described my situation. He consulted with many of his colleagues, and after a few weeks, they had designed a contraption to be implanted in my throat that would greatly enhance the strength and sonorousness of my vocal cords. I came in on a Thursday morning, and they went to work. When I woke up from the anesthesia, I found that I couldn't move my jaw very easily. When I put my hand on my neck, I found I could hardly squeeze it. They had placed carefully connected rings of steel around the insides of my throat, enhancing my larynx. My lungs had been slightly expanded as well, increasing the volume of my diaphragm. When I spoke, my voice sounded roughly the same, but more hollow, robotic, and tired. When I sang, the notes came out clear and beautiful, but something was off about it. I thanked the surgeon, but pointed out that my singing voice sounded unnatural. This is the best we can do, the surgeon said. I can't remember his name. I was undeterred by this, however. I knew that in order to show off my new pipes, I had to learn to make music. I downloaded FL Studio, but none of it made any sense. So, I headed off into the mountains of Tibet to learn from the FL Studio monks. If you've never heard of the FL Studio monks, they are a secretive group of legendary producers who are rumored to have learned to create perfect music. I soon found these rumors to be true myself. I flew to India and drove in a Buick through the mountain ranges, but soon found I could not continue and set off on foot. After weeks of walking, I finally stumbled across the Temple of Music, an intricately designed building filled to the brim with producer monks behind computers. I was expecting them to have FL Studio open, as their title suggested, but they had a program which was much more intriguing. They explained patiently to me that after years of experimenting, they had created a more precise production program, one that is almost entirely powered by one's imagination. They hooked up my brain to the system via strange wires and asked me to simply play with my desired music in my head. Thought of all the wonderful rock bands I grew up with, Led Zeppelin, Lynyrd Skynyrd, The Velvet Underground, etc., and poof, the music showed up in the computer's files. I was amazed, but they told me it was not finished. To complete the songs, I would have to do the act I had been so poor at my whole life. Singing. I had brought my written songs in a little notebook with me, so I sang off the pages in front of the mic. I'm not a particularly good lyricist, but I think I did my best. I belted out the songs with fervor, and when I finished, the whole room of monks applauded. Although the sound of my singing voice on the record might sound a bit robotic because of the metal in my throat, I can assure you it is entirely natural and not AI. They sent me back home with the finished songs, and I could not have been happier. Now that I've told my story, I hope you'll sympathize with me when I say that the backlash this album has gotten hurts me deep inside. I may not be the best musician or songwriter, but I gave this album my heart and soul, and the countless accusations that this is AI are possibly the worst insult I could have received. I am grateful to the thousands of online listeners that support my work, but the negative critical reaction is discouraging at best. I urge you all, please do your research before writing lengthy reviews bashing something. You may not have all the information, and that's okay, but keep your mouth shut, please. Edit. Yes, the men in my Spotify profile are my real friends. They are there for purposes of touring, making the Velvet Sundown officially a band on the road. The compositions themselves are entirely my own. Oh wow, and in their profile they have the Velvet Underground. What? There's an extended universe. There's a band called the Crimson Daggers. Not quite human, not quite machine. The Velvet Sundown lives somewhere in between. Dr. Seuss. Found another one. So I browsed again, this time on Album of the Year, and I found, while I was on the page for The Queen is Dead by the Smiths, I found another really funny one. So this is from October 14th of last year by somebody named Flapjack. They didn't give it a rating. So here we go. Morrissey, you racist little prick. Give me back my $37. It's been 3.5 years and I'm still waiting for you to pay me back. Okay, some context. It was a cold winter night in 2005, so about 19 years ago, when I first met him. I was at my local fast food place, snacking on the final few fries I had from my Speedy McDicken chicken double combo, when a tall, lanky, and very, very pale man walked in. He had an evergreen-hued coat on with a pair of black jeans and a blue shirt that read the Sex Pistols on it. He went up to the counter and ordered. He, in fact, ordered the same meal I had just devoured in a matter of 24 minutes, a record time. He went to look for a seat, but most were full, as it was December 17th, the day of this random fast food place, so everyone in town tried to get there. He looked rather confused, must be an out-of-towner, so I waved to him and told him he could sit with me. That was my first mistake. Sat down across from me, looking like a vampire with a cheeseburger, a sight I never thought I would see again. He said thanks or something of the sort, and beamed to chow down. I told him that we had ordered the same meal, but he didn't seem to care. He was entirely focused on that meal. Rightly so, it was damn good. Then I heard someone behind us say something. It was, "Hello, Mr. Shankly." Dear God, it was a mess. As soon as he heard that, he started screaming, growling, and pouncing around the place, driving most patrons and families out. He was a complete and utter wild animal. After 2 minutes and 19 seconds, he sat back down and acted like nothing happened. The staff didn't care. They were all cracked out, as they wouldn't be able to stand such a busy night like this without it. I asked if he was alright, and he just said that he blacked out for a minute. Huh, oh well. Whatever the case, he seemed to be more keen on small talk now. I asked what his name was. Jeffrey David Scoliosis Billy, he replied. But my friends call me Morrissey. What an odd name. Morrissey sounds fucking stupid. Anyways, we kind of hit it off and we exchanged numbers. Over the years, we've hung out countless times. He was one of my best pals, and I thought it would stay that way. But oh boy, did it not. Me and Morrissey went to a cricket game every month. We first went in 2013 because we thought it was a game with actual crickets, but then we got really invested. And on this particular one, 3 years, 7 months, and 8 days ago, we stopped by that same fast food place on the way home where we met. You might be surprised to find out that it was still there after all these years, just a bit modernized. We went and we saw something special on the menu. The same meal that we both ordered on December 17th, 2005. We were ecstatic, and we went up to order. He pulled out his wallet but found no dollar bills nor change in it, as he spent every last nickel and dime on a frankly ridiculous French fry costume at the cricket game. I don't know why he was there either, but he got it from Shalia de Ba the Six, I think. 41% off. Now you may be thinking, a French fries costume. That's not so bad. That's where you're wrong. I said French fry, singular. He was just a fucking yellow rectangular prism, for God's sake. I had so much secondhand embarrassment you wouldn't believe. That's besides the point, though. He asked me for money, and I gave him my only $37 bill. We ate. It was spectacular, as usual. And then we left. I dropped him off at his house, said bye, and told him to make sure to pay me back soon. He did not. I texted him. I called him. I called his mother. He was nowhere to be seen. I went to his house, and there was nothing there. Just a grass field. I presume his house was able to fit in a suitcase. Those cost a lot, and he literally had no money to spare the other day. I never thought him a rich man. Well, I looked him up, and it turns out that he was in this band named The Smiths. What is this guy in stupid names? His real name doesn't even have Smith in it. Apparently, this band is very successful, so I guess he was rich. Oh, he's also a racist? I've been hanging around with a racist all these years? No wonder I lost all of those relationships and got shot weird looks when I was around him. And this sack of shit thinks he could take my money, which I so graciously lent to him in a time of need, and not give me repayment? Blasphemy! If you are reading this, Morrissey, and I know you are, I want my money! And don't you call me cheap. I wouldn't want my money that I rightfully own back if you hadn't taken it and ran away like a little bitch. This is all your fault and you know it. I'll be waiting, Jeffrey. I'll be waiting. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Edit. Oh yeah, the album's pretty good too. This is the only way it is! The only results. There's 3 results. It's a book listing, and then it's this fucking review. Thanks for coming to this thing. Hope you liked it. Goodbye now.